So you have a business and you have employees or contractors. It's not just you. And you want to be able to communicate with your contractors or employees, and you want to be able to share information across all parties. Now, there are two ways that you can do this. You can procure IT equipment and standardize the image and the applications that are on that equipment, and then you give it out to the employees, and then when they leave, you take their equipment back. The other way is what we call BYOD, bring your own device. That is where the employees connect to the company network with their own personal device. Now, there are reasons why you would probably want to go this route. There may be not enough budget to procure equipment for everyone. So maybe some people have BYOD and some people have company equipment. Maybe make a decision based on the level of employee or the level of information they have access to. Maybe you only have certain equipment that is BYOD, like your cell phone, but the computers are procured by the company and have a standard image and applications. Or everything that is connecting to the network is BYOD. And that would be maybe because there's only a few people and a very limited budget. It's just only one person. Or you just want that flexibility to allow the employees to use what they want to use and not have to find something that'll fit everyone's needs. No matter what you decide with your version of BYOD versus company procured, this video is to give you some information about how to secure your BYOD. Now, everyone knows that the pros of BYOD is that the company does not have the cost associated with procuring whatever device it is, whether it's a smartwatch or it's a scanner or it's a printer or it's a computer, tablet, smartphone, things like that. But the con associated with the non-existent cost is that you don't have control over what they bring and what they put on those devices outside of the application that you asked them to put on, the software that you asked them to put on. You don't have full control over what they do with the information that they put on their phone, who they give it to, who has access to that information. Now, to help mitigate that very big con and associated risk of not having control over the device, there are some things that you can do to help lock down that information, to help lock down that device. The first aspect is to maybe involve legal, to have some sort of binding document to confirm and to have your employees sign some sort of document to say what they can and can't do with the information if they put it on their device, whether it's a computer, access it from a computer, access it from a tablet, access it from their smartphone. That way you're covered legally and that risk is taken care of. I'm not going to cover that part because that part is better left to the legal professionals. But I do know that that would actually help you, especially if you have some IT compliance issues that you need to think about. Now, when you allow someone to connect to your network with their device, there are ways that you can actually lock it down. There are, if you're allowing them access to cloud-based applications or cloud-based platforms such as Microsoft 365, such as Salesforce. One of the ways that you can lock it down is with two-factor authentication. That would allow you to make sure that no matter what device they are using to access their data, that you know that it's the right person accessing the data. Also, another way that you can lock it down is to restrict downloading so that it has to stay in the cloud. It must be modified, it must be created, it must be deleted in the cloud and not downloaded. Or you can limit downloading to certain devices or certain times. That would help to limit the risk associated with data getting out where it should not be gotten out. You could allow only certain people to bring their own devices and to have it permission based only, so not everyone can bring their own device. You can also, like with Microsoft 365, there is an application that is included in a certain level of platform services that creates a way to where if they create a profile for your company on that device, and if that profile is actually deleted, then all the information associated with that profile, all the data, access to that data is also deleted and purged. So there are ways to do that with things like Microsoft 365 and Salesforce, or maybe Oracle, things like that, so that if they are no longer associated with the company and you purge it through the administrator or they delete that profile, then they no longer have access to the data. Another way that you can make sure that the devices are locked down as much as possible is to make sure the patching and antivirus is updated frequently. Now you can either do this by having them install an application that you control, where you can push updates, or you could have them do screenshots periodically and send those screenshots to you. And if they don't adhere to that, then you could say they're not allowed to attach to your network if you're not controlling it. And then a final thing would be to get as much information about the devices that are attaching to your network and monitor your network itself. So if someone is saying that they are allowing their cell phone to connect to the network, they're using that as a BYOD, and they're using their laptop, then get the MAC address, get the IP address associated with that laptop, associated with that smartphone. And then you put that in a log, and so that when it is attaching to your edge devices, your routers and your switches, you have that MAC address associated, and so you can allow that traffic. But if it's not on that list, if they are trying to access your network from a different device that they did not let you know about, then it won't give them access to the particular part of the network. So those are the ways that you can lock down your network if you're going to allow employees to access your network through their own devices.